Hey there guys, and welcome back. On this week's show, we're talking about moisture meters. Now you guys are probably wondering, what does a moisture meter have to do with a woodworking show? Guys, a moisture meter is a very important tool for you to have in your shop if, let's say, you burn firewood to keep heat, as I do here in the shop, or if you're using rough cut lumber, or if you're using lumber that you're drying yourself. It's very important to know the moisture content because it really changes the way that the wood moves within a project. And if you're using wood that isn't dry enough for your project, you're going to end up with problems. So the good folks at ErickHill sent me over a couple of their models of moisture meters, and we're going to run through them today. I'm going to run through their functions, compare the two models, test them. I'm going to show you how to use them, and I'm going to let you know what I think of these moisture meters. And hopefully through that you may see the importance of having one in your shop. So without further ado, let's head over to the bench and see what ErickHill sent me over. Well, I was sent over two models of the moisture meter. The first one being this unit here, which is the EWM03, and the second one being the EWM01. Now, both of them are very capable meters, but they have some different functions. So when you look in the box, when you first get one of these meters, for starters, they come with an instruction guide, and they both come with batteries for the unit, which are AAA batteries. Each one takes 2. Now, I've already taken the liberty of installing the batteries, but we'll take out both of these units, and you can see right off the bat that there is quite a difference in size between these two units. Now, the M01 also comes with this sticker here for you to mount somewhere in your shop, which gives the different substances. You have to set the mode in these types of moisture meters for the type of material that you're testing, but we're going to get into that a little bit later. There are two types of moisture meters. There is the type that has no pins or no prongs, and they work with a pad on the back that sends a pulse through the material and reads the moisture content from within and sends the information back to the unit. These two units are not like that. These ones here are pin style moisture meters, where you need to actually penetrate the wood slightly with these two sharp prongs in order to get your reading. So let's start off with the M03 unit and go through some of its functions. From what I can see, the EWM03 is kind of the more basic unit between the two that were sent to me. It's a very compact unit. You can see it fits very securely in your palm, in your pocket, in your shop apron. First off, you just push the power button to turn it on. And this unit here measures temperature as well, the ambient room temperature. You can see it's 63 degrees Fahrenheit. Well, I'm in Canada. Canada uses Celsius. So in order to change that, you just push this set button here, and there you go. It's 17 degrees Celsius in the shop this morning. Not too bad. Good working temperature. Now, if you're having problems seeing this display, you can do a quick press on the set button, and that will illuminate that backlight. And you can see it's a really nice clear green. It really makes the display easy to read. It's a nice size screen. The letters are clear. They're easy to read. The percentage is in the biggest letters here, but I do like that solid green backlit function. Now guys, in order to test the moisture, you need to set the mode. It's the same with any of these pin type units. And you do that using this M button here. Now, this EWM03 unit has 5 different modes. So right now I have it in mode 2, but I'm just going to go back here. See, I switched there it is right over there in the corner. Mode 1, mode 2, 3, 4, 5. Each one in the manual has its own specific settings. Now, mode 1 setting kind of has some exotic woods listed, like Rhodesian teak and white red bean tree and Brazilian walnut. Whereas mode 2 is a little more generic. Things like walnut, poplar, teak, that sort of thing. Whereas mode 3, white fir, maple, ash, balsam, sandalwood, beechwood, and other types of wood are listed as well. Number 4, white pine, birch, basswood is mode 4. Now mode 5 is not actually wood at all, but it's bricks, mortar, that sort of thing. So you could test the dryness of mortar that you have in a brick lay. This particular function does not pertain to me. I do not use it for that sort of thing, for building materials. I only use it for wood. So those are the basic functions of the EWMO3. It is a rather simple unit with the ability to turn your backlight on and off, change your temperature, change your mode. For me, the most generic here for me would be mode 2. That encompasses most of the stock that I use in the shop. And honestly, guys, in most cases, when you set a moisture meter, you can pretty much set it for that one setting and get everything you need, because most of us are creatures of habit, and we would only change that mode if we had something else that we didn't normally use. So with that being done now, or being said, with the EWMO3 and its features, again, a very simple unit, let's move over to the MO1 and go through some of its features in comparison to the MO3. So just like the smaller EWMO3 unit, the MO1 unit turns on with this red button here, just a quick press, and you can see that this one is automatically backlit. In the top corner is an M with meaning mode, and we're showing in mode 1, and it's showing me a green backlight with a low moisture content. Now this particular unit, you cannot shut off the backlight. The backlight, in fact, is one of its telltale features as to the moisture content. So right now I am set in mode 1. Let's just push this onto my finger to get a high moisture reading. There we go. It just went yellow. So I am now in the warning area of 20.2, 0.5, 0.6. I am in 20% moisture content and in a yellow backlit warning mode, showing me that this could be questionable as far as its moisture content. So what if we get a high moisture content? Now I know it's kind of gross, but I'm gonna lick my finger here and get a higher moisture content. And we'll just put it on there, and look at that. The screen goes red and shows me at over 40% moisture content. So this is a great little feature of this EWMO1, that the backlight, the color of it, whether it be green, amber, or red, gives you a really good indication of what kind of a moisture content or the relative humidity percentage is within the stock that you're using. Now, this also has a maximum setting mode where you can hold your max setting. And once you test a unit, if you want to hold that amount, to get the EWMO1 to hold a maximum reading that you're testing, just touch your max button. And there you go. It's going to hold that now at 3.5% moisture. And to shut that off, we can just click it again and it'll go back to normal mode. The EWMO3 actually has a maximum data hold feature as well, but you want to hold the mode button. So here we have it at 25, 26 in my finger. We will push and hold the mode button, and there we go. You can see that little lock just came up there on the screen, and that is now held there for me to read or reference or whatever I need to do with it. To clear it, just push and hold the M button again and it will go back to normal operation. There's something I forgot to mention about that. The EWMO3, as I stated, has 4 wood modes and 1 building material mode. Well, the MO1 unit actually only has 2 wood modes and it has 5 building material modes. So things like cement mortar, lime mortar, bricks, gypsum. It has all kinds of different building material modes built in, but the main ones for us as woodworkers are mode 1, and mode 2, where 1 are things like beech, spruce, birch, cherry, walnut, and mode 2 are things like oak, pine, maple, and ash. There are other species in there as well, but those are the main ones for us as woodworkers. So where this one has 4 different modes that you would have to reference in order to get an accurate reading, this guy here only has 2 for wood that you need to think of. Either way, it's a great little unit. I like them both. I really like the way this one feels in my hand. This one is a nice sturdy unit. I like the colors, the multiple colors that light up that give you your moisture content at a quick glance, not a specific percentage of relative humidity, but a quick glance and a check as to whether or not your wood is dry enough for use. So how do you test moisture content in your wood? Well, let's start off with, let's say a little bit of firewood. So I have 2 pieces of firewood here. One of them being a piece of oak was cut several years ago, whereas this one here, which is a piece of ginkgo, was only cut 2 days ago. Now, guys, the channels in wood go along the grain. So when you're testing your moisture, you do not want to go in line with those veins, we'll call it, because that's where the moisture is held. And if your prong should go into the exact same vein, you're not really getting an accurate reading. You're getting an accurate reading of that one vein, not a generalization of the wood. So you want to go across the grain so that you can span different veins, we'll call them, of water. Now we have here, let me just light up the backlight here for this so we can see it a bit better. This is the one that was cut a couple days ago. And I'll just insert the prongs just into the wood just slightly. And I've got like a 33% moisture content in the one that was cut a couple days ago. Guys, firewood should be 20% relative humidity or less. So this one piece is not suitable for burning. It's not going to provide any kind of heat. It's just going to smoke. That's all there is to it. But now if we test this piece of oak, now in this case we'll have to change our settings. I had this set for a softer wood like pine. So we're going to change our mode to mode 3, which is for oak. And we'll just test it again across the grain, not with it. And we'll jab that in there. And I've got 14.8.7. So 14.8%. So this is just fine for burning. It'll burn hot, it'll burn clean, less smoking. So the moisture meter is a great tool to figure that out. Now that is for the EWMO3. If we were going to be using our MO1, and we place this here across the grain again into our one that was cut a couple days ago, you can see here we've gone red. So that's a quick visual. And we're at over 30% here on the oak. Again, we're going to have to change our mode, and we're at 13.3 according to this. So this again is suitable for burning. You could see that it was lit up as green, another quick visual. Okay, so that's the one use for this, but how about our stock that we actually use for our fine woodworking? Well guys, here we have a slab of 8/4 cherry. It is rough sawn, and this is the sort of thing that interests us as woodworkers as far as what the relative humidity or the moisture content of this board is. In order to make successful indoor projects, you usually want your stock to be between 6 and 8% relative humidity. Anything more than that and your projects can twist. So what we're going to do is I'm going to use the EWMO3 here. This is the more simple model of the two, and I'm just going to place the prongs into our board of cherry, again bridging the grain. The grain is running this way, bridging the grain, and we'll just insert this, and I have 7.1. So 7% moisture content in this block of cherry. I want between 6 and 8, ideally, guys. That's like the perfect moisture content between 6 and 8. It's going to vary because, of course, wood can only dry to the amount of relative humidity that you have in the atmosphere that the wood is sitting. So if you have a very wet, moist shop, your wood's not going to dry out like this. So across the grain as well, guys, I want to mention to you, don't test in the end grain. Just don't do it. You don't get good readings. It's not a proper setting because these veins, as we talked about earlier, these dry up quicker than the ones in the middle. So try to get central on the board. So there you go. There is a piece of cherry at 7% and ready to use. So guys, whether you want to use the EWMO3 or whether you want to use the MO1, either one will serve you well. But there's one other thing that I'd like to point out between these two units. And it's not a comparison, but it's something that I like about these two over and above the moisture meter that I already have in my shop, which is this one. This is one of the moisture meters I have here in the shop. And this is going to seem trivial to some of you, but honest to goodness, this, as soon as I saw what these two had that this one does not, I was sold on these two. And there's nothing more frustrating than coming out to the shop, going to use your moisture meter, and the batteries are dead. So you need to replace your batteries. Fair enough, it happens. It happens with all kinds of tools. The problem is, look at this. This one here has 4 button cells. I don't know about you guys, but I don't have button cells sitting around my house. I don't stock these things. But with the ErickHill units, both of them have AAAs. 2 AAAs in each of them. And if you have children, or if you have electronics in your house, or you have grandchildren, I guarantee you, you have AAA batteries in your house. So if you need to test something and your unit is dead, you don't have to go run out to the store to get yourself some button cells like what one of my other moisture meters has here. You can just find yourself a couple AAAs and get your moisture meter back up and running. So although it may seem trivial to some of you, I love the fact that they're conventional, regular use, everyday batteries, and nothing specialty about them like the button cells. And there you have it. The ErickHill EWMO1 and the EWMO3 moisture meters. Guys, both of these in my tests are very capable moisture meters. They both did a great job. They both have very different features. With the MO3, it has the ambient temperature reading. Is that important to you? I don't know. But what it also has that I really like about the MO3 is the larger display area. Guys, I'm in my mid-50s. I'm not getting any younger and my eyesight is not getting any better. So I really like that larger display and the crisp clarity of those letters that show the relative humidity of the wood. Now with that being said, I really like that quick visual of the green, amber, red lights of the EWMO1 unit. That is just a great quick jab it in test to see if your wood is dry enough, whether it be for your woodworking or whether it be for firewood or what have you. Now, I didn't do any of the testing of the building materials like the mortars or the cements or the limestone or whatever. The reason being, I don't use the units for this function. And really, that longer, slimmer MO1 unit, that seems to be more geared towards the building materials, but I still found it did a great job for the wood. Now, one thing I did notice, out of testing both the units, both the MO1 and the MO3, I found the MO3 to be a little more sensitive. On the lower percentages of moistures, I was able to get an actual reading off of the MO3, whereas with the MO1, especially with that cherry, I tried multiple times, no matter what setting I put this on or what mode, I could not get an actual percentage reading from the MO1 with that dry cherry. Now it is very dry, so that percentage may be out of the range of its specifications or its tolerance levels. I'm not 100% sure of that, but it did glow green to tell me it was still usable. As far as the higher percentages goes, these things pretty much registered the same right across the board, with maybe 0.5% out one way or the other. So they both did a great job on measuring the moisture content of this stock. So that being said, now I also wanted to point out a feature that I did not point out in the video. And what that is the ability for both of these that they both turn off after 10 minutes of use. Both the MO3 and the MO1 both turn off. However, the MO1, the slimmer unit of the two, if you don't want that feature, you can shut that feature down with the MO1. So it's on or off if you want. I don't know why you'd want to turn that off, but if that's the sort of thing that floats your boat, well then the MO1 does that. But personally, I like the idea of it going for 10 minutes of inactivity and then it shuts down so you don't have to worry about burning out your batteries prematurely. Either way, guys, whether you like the simpler function and the higher sensitivity, it seems, of the smaller unit, or whether you like the multiple modes, more building materials, slimmer design, and the quick view light up screen, either one would serve you well, and they're reasonably priced. So, I mean, honestly, if you're looking at getting a moisture meter in your shop to test your firewood or to test your wood for your woodworking, you really can't go wrong with either one of these units. Guys, I want to thank you so much for tuning in this week. I want to thank ErickHill for sending these two units out to me for testing today. I enjoy testing them and trying out the different features. I like new tools, I like new equipment, and having a couple there that I could compare really is helpful both to me and it's helpful to you guys as well. Guys, if you have any questions about these units, please feel free to post them down below, or you can email me at kennye@acutabovewoodworkings.com, and I'd be happy to answer your questions, whatever you want to know. If you have a question about these moisture meters, please shoot me a line. I'd be more than happy to help you out. If you haven't already, please consider liking and subscribing to the channel. You click the bell and then you're not going to miss the notification of future episodes of the program. Guys, I'm going to put the links to both of these products down below in the description. Check it out. See if it's something that interests you. By all means, like I said, you can't go wrong with either one. I hope you've enjoyed today's content, guys. I hope you're going to look into the ErickHill line of meters for yourself. And more importantly, I hope you're going to join me again next week when I bring you yet another Alternative Tuesday.